The following program has been brought to you in part by Sennheiser and the Airline Pilots Association.
On this episode, we'll tell you about the big announcement from United Continental pilots, what the Pilots' Bill of Rights will do for you, plus highlights from the Air Safety Forum and the extraordinary pilots honored at this year's event. All of this and more here on the Flight Deck. Hello, I'm Sharon Varab. Welcome to the Flight Deck. We're on location today at the Airline Pilots Association's annual Air Safety Forum in historic Washington, D.C. We'll bring you coverage of this special event later in the podcast, but first, the latest news. Could United and Continental pilots be closer to reaching a deal? Pilots announced August 3rd they had an agreement in principle with their company on major economic issues. The news comes after more than 2 years of negotiations for a joint collective bargaining agreement. Terms of agreement must now be converted into a tentative agreement before any details can be released. The TA will be presented to leaders of each pilot group for consideration. If approved, the agreement will be sent to the pilots of both carriers for a combined ratification vote. ALPA is working to help more than 700 pilots find jobs after 2 airlines announced closures. Delta Airlines said it would be shutting down its subsidiary Comair on September 29th. The move will lay off more than 600 active pilots there. The announcement is the latest in a long series of events that have challenged the company. A-Star Air Cargo closed down its operations on August 4th after losing its major client, DHL. About 120 A-Star pilots are out of a job as a result. ALPA President Captain Lee Moak has reached out to fellow pilot groups seeking preferential hiring opportunities for the pilots. Known Crewmember is gaining ground across the country. The security program can now be found in 18 U.S. airports. Checkpoints are now open in Las Vegas, Detroit, New York's LaGuardia, and Chicago's Midway airports. Pilots will begin to see more and more known Crewmember checkpoints opening over the next few months. Site surveys were recently completed in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Honolulu. ALPA, A4A, and the TSA are working to have checkpoints operating in 31 airports by the end of November. Known Crewmember will expand to include flight attendants of U.S.-based carriers. The TSA said it could take up to 12 months to include them in the system. Pilots can check out the ALPA app or visit knowncrewmember.org for the latest updates on the program. President Obama signed a bill on August 3rd that will provide pilots with a host of new rights. The law requires the FAA to notify a pilot of an investigation into their license and to provide them with access to evidence in their case. Pilots would also be provided with an avenue to appeal FAA decisions in federal district courts. Republican Senator James Inhofe introduced the bill. He said it will ensure pilots are treated fairly by the justice system. Coming up next on this special edition of the Flight Deck, we'll bring you the remarkable stories of pilots honored at this year's Air Safety Forum. And we'll be spinning the wheel to find out the grand prize winner of the Sennheiser headset. That and more next on the Flight Deck.
From the first time I boarded a commercial plane as its pilot, I've embraced the responsibility I have to the safety of my passengers and crew. And I have the best flight gear, even the headset certified for commercial duty. It lets me concentrate on the task at hand, making this the safest flight my passengers will ever have.
The feature-packed HMEC 26 provides long-wearing comfort and more than 18 dB of noise reduction. Try the HMEC 26 on your next flight and hear the difference for yourself.
The Airline Pilots Association held their Air Safety Forum Everything Matters at the beginning of August. The event was attended by hundreds of aviation experts, leaders, and ALPA pilots to discuss the top safety and security issues facing the industry. ALPA correspondent Jesse Cornelius brings us a recap of this year's event.
Air travel is the safest form of transportation available, and it's no accident.
For the Airline Pilots Association International, everything matters when it comes to advancing aviation safety. For ALPA, it's not just a job, it's a moral imperative.
ALPA has been advancing air safety and security for more than 80 years. The association's Air Safety Forum is the hallmark of its success. The event draws aviation legends, leaders, and pilots from around the globe to review the progress made and how to tackle the challenges ahead.
The threats are real, the stakes are high. How do we continue our collaborative efforts?
Airline security, airport infrastructure, bird strikes, pilot fatigue, and the advances in aircraft technology were only a few of the topics covered. The event offered 26 informational sessions, led by experts from ALPA, industry, and government. One thing everyone agreed on was the importance of collaborating to continue to move air safety and security into the future.
Both industry and government are responsible for ensuring that safety measures are fully met. It's not one party's responsibility or the other's. We can't do it if we don't do it together, and we can't do it without the active participation of one another.
Reporting on the flight deck, I'm Jessie Cornelius.
Now it's time to watch and win. Congratulations, Robert Murrow, for making it to the next round. You were randomly selected from the correct entries from our last episode. Robert will now be entered into the grand prize drawing for a chance to win the next Sennheiser headset. Now let's head over to the Sennheiser booth to find our grand prize winner.
Hello, my name's Tim Mell. I'm with Sennheiser Aviation. We're a proud sponsor of the FlightDeck Watch and Win contest, and I'm here to select the winning contestant for the grand prize. The 6 finalists have been already predetermined through monthly draws, and I have the names here: Michael, Robert, Jim, Deanna, Grant, and a blank ball, which will represent next month's winner. So if that ball is selected, the winner of this headset will be determined next month. So I'm going to drop the balls into the drum. Give it a little spin. So now I'm going to select the winning name out of this drum right now. Congratulations, Grant. You're the winner of the new Sennheiser HMEC 26 headset with your choice of cabling options. Thanks very much for playing.
Thank you, Sennheiser, for making the Watch and Win contest possible. We appreciate your support. Now for today's question. How many known Crewmember airports will be in operation in the U.S. at the end of the year? Visit flightdeck.alpa.org to submit your answer for a chance to win. We're wrapping up this special edition of the Flight Deck by celebrating pilots honored at the Air Safety Forum. Each year, ALPA acknowledges pilots who've contributed their lives' works to advancing the safety and security of the piloting profession. 4 pilots were recognized this year with the association's highest honor, the Superior Airmanship Award. Delta Airlines pilots, Captain Rodney DeWeese and First Officer Paul Skluzacek, were recognized for successfully correcting an uncommanded roll of Flight 1152 and safely landing the aircraft in an emergency for which they had no training. Both pilots were awarded Superior Airmanship Awards for handling a potentially catastrophic situation with extraordinary skill. United Airline pilots, Captain Dale Nordhausen and First Officer John Escuri, were honored for safely landing an Airbus A319 after the right main landing gear failed to extend and locked into position on United Flight 634. Their decisive actions prevented any serious injuries on board and resulted in little damage to the aircraft. Both pilots received Superior Airmanship Awards for their outstanding professionalism. This year's Air Safety Award was presented to Captain William DeGrow for his outstanding leadership and commitment to advancing air safety. Captain DeGrow is recognized around the world for his knowledge of aircraft performance issues and related policies. His achievements include testifying as an expert at the NTSB's hearing on Southwest Airlines' accident in Chicago Midway in 2005. ExpressJet Airlines Captain Everett Reese was awarded ALPA's Aviation Security Award for leading efforts to identify and mitigate potential security threats. His accomplishments include working with the U.S. State Department to determine specific aviation security threats and solutions for operations in Afghanistan and Latin America. His advocacy efforts have led the way for other pilot groups and their companies to develop similar security policies. This year's Pilot Assistance Award went to Jazz Captain Thomas O'Toole for his outstanding commitment to assisting his fellow airmen for more than 20 years. Captain O'Toole has counseled pilots through the trauma and stress of serious accidents and incidents, including the crash of First Air Flight 6560 at Resolute last year. He has also helped pilots affected by substance abuse get the help they need and return to work.
What a proud moment this is for all of you, and deservedly so. So job well done, and thank you very, very much.
That's it for this special edition of the Flight Deck. If you have any feedback on this program, let us know at flightdeck@alpa.org. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month here on the Flight Deck.